like, yeah, we'll just. I know Joseph said he won't be able to make it. I didn't hear back from anybody else other than you and Ray.
Right.
But yeah, I figured we could just go through and kind of like give a short intro and talk about where we're at in life and in the Warriors curriculum or whatnot. The 4 summits and stuff, and just check in any big wins recently, and anything we need help on, that sort of stuff. And then yeah, we'll give the other guys a chance if they want to watch the recording, and hopefully the next time a couple more can join us. But yeah, Ray and I have been talking, like, it would be good to, if there's interest enough, it would be good to get somewhat of a regular meeting going.
Right. Yeah.
Ideally every week, if there's enough of us, or maybe bi-weekly or something, if people are busy. So, but we'll just try this out this time and see what happens. But yeah, man, if I guess to buy us a little time, hopefully Ray will join. You said I know you were in the hospital. What was you had COVID?
I came down with COVID, and I did my little here in the U.S. They were recommending a 10-day quarantine before you enter the world again. So I did my 10 days, and I ran a high fever through the whole fucking thing.
Finally, just 10 days at home?
I actually ended up doing 13 days at home. And then I finally had enough. The fever wouldn't break, and I was just dehydrated and tired. I went to the hospital, and they admitted me. It took them like 2 hours before they decided to admit me. My oxygen levels were running about 65%. And they started running some tests and everything, and they took a chest x-ray, and I had pneumonia in both my lungs. Contributing to the shortness of breath and all that. So I'm actually still out of work. That was my first day out was the 25th of July. And they're saying I'll be out the entire month of September.
Really? So what did you get tested pretty early on when you were feeling symptoms? And
so I went
at first they just
day one.
Told you to
quarantine.
Day one
with the symptoms. I got tested, and they told me I'm showing all the symptoms, but I failed. I tested negative that first day. They told me to come back in 2 days and try again, so I did. And sure enough, I tested positive there, and then I tested positive 2 more times when I was in the hospital. And all in between my self-quarantine before the hospital and the hospital trip, I spent 30 days in isolation. Yeah. Which I'm not much of a social person, but I didn't realize how much I counted on the limited human interaction I did have until I was all alone for a month.
Yeah. Well, like, would the doctors come in once in a while, but like in all their gear, or were you like isolated?
I was isolated. Those people, they acted terrified to be in the room. They came in, did what they had to, and left.
Really?
So unless I called them in to help me with something, nobody bothered me. Like, they drop off my lunch tray as quick as they could.
Man, well, I'm happy that you made it through, and you seem pretty much back to normal, at least as far as how you feeling.
I feel back to normal. I still am super limited on my activity. Too much exertion, I just lose my breath, and sometimes it'll just come out of nowhere. Just me getting up to walk to the restroom and walk back, I'll come back to my chair and I just can't catch my breath. But the rest of it is getting better. I'm getting my strength back. I am working out what little bit I can to try and help speed that along. Most of it's just walking. I'll wait till the sun goes down and I'll take me a walk outside my apartment. Because here where I live in Tennessee, it's been pretty cool here the last week and a half or so. So I've been able to get some of that out without the humidity. But and I go back the end of this month to get another chest X-ray to see if my lungs have cleared up enough to maybe go back to work sometime next month.
Gotcha.
That's a huge weight on my shoulders right now, man. I was not at a place financially where I could afford to take 2 months off of work. And I'm battling. I got a call with my insurance company tomorrow. I still haven't heard back about my short-term disability that I filed the first week I was out. But no, I am doing a lot better than I was.
Well, thank God for that. Yeah, I hope the insurance stuff pans out. How long were you in the hospital then?
13 days. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I spent 6 of that in the ICU.
But you don't have to like get on oxygen still, do you? Occasionally?
No. They actually took me off oxygen the end of last month. I think it was the 24th was my last day on it. So since it's been a little more than a week now, I've been just operating on my own breathing ability.
Mhm.
So they actually came and picked up the oxygen stuff, so I don't even have it here anymore.
Mhm. Well, so did your family didn't have any challenges though?
Honestly, man, it worked out really good. Everybody came together and worked really hard to make a lot of ends meet. So my boy's dad took him for about 7 weeks straight because we do a week with him and a week with us. He just kept him for a while with me being sick and then having to come home and recover, which was a big help. And then my siblings, I'm the oldest of 6. So I've got a lot of siblings that are all working age, and my mom and one of my sisters actually took second and third jobs to help try and help cover some bills on my end.
Wow.
And my girlfriend has done a lot with me being sick and through my recovery to help make sure everything's as easy and as simple as possible.
Wow, well that's great, man. Team effort, wonderful.
Oh yeah, man.
But yeah, no one else got sick, thankfully.
No, man, just me.
Well, it's good it didn't go around.
Yeah.
Yeah, we here in my household, I guess it was about 10 days or so ago. We spent long, like a 4-day weekend, kind of on the beach for my wife's 32nd birthday. Had a great time, but the kid was like in the pool and in the ocean and in the spa, like almost nonstop,
Yeah.
And as soon as we got home, well, I mean, it started the last day we were there, but he had a real runny nose, and then it started turning into a cough, and then the baby got it. We have a 10-month-old daughter now, and then I got it. And I think my wife is a real, like, she's almost more of a warrior than I am, like a terrorist, but in a good way. But right. She's the strong one, right? Like, she never wants to show anything when she's struggling. It's like I had to talk with her last night because I noticed she was struggling with, it seemed like anxiety or something, frankly, but she'll like hide stuff from me for a week because she's like, oh, I don't want to worry you, and I just want to take care of you and the kids, and I'm like, right. Anyway, so I think she was getting a little bit of a cold too, the whole household. Yeah, we've been sniffling and coughing for a week and a half. I'm still kind of getting over the last of it, but thankfully we've been really fortunate out here. I think especially because we're in the tropics. There's lots of, it's like, compared to the U.S., it's almost like having year-round summer. I mean, we do have our rainy seasons and occasional hurricanes and stuff that roll through, but it's pretty warm by comparison to most places. And yeah, just so much sunshine and fresh air, thankfully. So there have been a number of cases here on the island, but it hasn't really affected anyone we know personally, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Even the whole, 18 months now,
Yeah.
Amazingly. But yeah, it did shut down everything. Like, the biggest thing is the kids, the schools still aren't going back to school in person. So it's been a big adjustment this year doing online school.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyhow, I mean, yeah, maybe I'll go ahead and kind of lead by example. I'll just do a bit of intro.
Okay.
For everyone's sake, anyone who watches later, and then you can. So good. I mean, yeah, obviously you guys, I think, know my name is Cody. I live in the Philippines. My wife is Filipina. So I was actually out here like in 2013 when I met. I'd come out here a couple times on work doing contract stuff for like some business owner friends. I had a buddy, an English friend that still owns a really big call center in Cebu City, which is like the second largest city in the Philippines. And so, yeah, 2013, I was out here doing some work for him, and I met my future wife, Jam. And yeah, we've lived, I think, in 4 countries. Yeah, we were here for a little while, and then I took the family to Thailand for like 2.5 years. We were in California for 2.5 years. I'm originally from California, Northern California, Sacramento. But I've been mostly living overseas for the better part of 15 years. But yeah, we did spend like 2.5 years back in Cali with the whole family because, yeah, at that time, Chris, my 7-year-old son, now 7, he was at that time just getting to school age. And so I kind of wanted to try out the public school system in California, which is what I'd gone through. But it was pretty disappointed, and yeah, I struggled to find work and blah, blah, blah. So anyhow, so we eventually moved back out here. So we've lived in, I guess, well, what is it? I guess it's just 3 countries now, but lots of different places,
Right, yeah.
So yeah, finally decided to double down on the Philippines with all its challenges. Like I think I was saying, but before the recording started, they say like the motto here is it's more fun in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Great if you're just visiting, but it is in parts of the country. It's a challenge. It's probably a good 20 years behind infrastructure wise compared to most of North America. So yeah, we have lots of power outages, brownouts. Internet can be choppy, but it's getting better and better. But I'd resisted for a long time, but finally decided to double down on her home country because I just noticed that like she performs best in her element. When she can speak
Right.
her first language. I mean, her English is really good, but it's very taxing on her to have to speak English like 24/7, so
Yeah.
anyhow, here she's able to speak her language, and she's able to get around on her own, and like she's just a lot more outgoing and whatever, just gets shit done, kicks ass and takes names. It was really interesting, actually. I mean, I'm going on a tangent, but like it was interesting seeing her for the 2 years we were in California. Like she like I said, she's a real trooper, but it was a very big struggle for her to adapt to such a different culture, and lifestyle. Whereas like I'd been doing this for, like I say, many, many years, and so it's not as hard for me to adjust. Like it's still an adjustment, but
Right.
yeah. So anyhow, so we've been out here in Bohol, Philippines for almost 3 years now, which is yeah, in some ways there's no big city here, so it's not like super well developed, but it is like a destination island. So there's all these, 5-star resorts and whatever. Parts of the island are very, very nice.
Right.
And so, yeah, just been like on a mission these last 3 years to make this home. It's the first time I settled down in one place for more than a year in all the last 15 years. So, but yeah, the kids, well, Chris is obviously, he's in 2nd grade now. Just had a baby daughter last October, very end of October. So she's just over 10 months. And my mother-in-law lives here with us. Brother-in-law is coming back hopefully soon, since because we've had pretty strict lockdowns, but he should be able to come over on the boat very soon. And yeah, trying to kind of like make the family-in-law thing work, which has been a big struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great, but everyone I talk to, like no one's excited to live with their mother-in-law.
Yeah.
But she is a great help, with the kids, and very hardworking. So anyhow, like a lot of the warrior stuff has been really helpful for me, especially with just dealing with the stress and the struggles of family, and like trying to like get everyone on the same page, especially with a cross-cultural, whatever, multicultural family, it has a lot of challenges. But for most of I started with a lot of web-based work. So I did web development, web design, and then got into marketing. And yeah, so for years I was like helping create marketing strategies and build sales funnels, stuff like that. That's what I was doing for my buddy Chris when I came out to the Philippines in 2013. And eventually got into a little bit of coaching myself, just kind of one-on-one and small group coaching other entrepreneurs and small business owners. But these days, my wife and I we have a family business, and we over the last, it's been 3 years now for that, started to do like U.S. tourist visa consulting. So predominantly, my wife targets primarily Filipinas, but we've got customers from I think 20 different countries actually. But kind of helping consult people to get their U.S. tourist visa if they want to go visit the U.S. So amazingly, last year I really thought that was going to taper off, but we've thrived through 2020 and 2021. So that's our main focus these days is building that. We've got a small team here of 4 assistants locally, and Philippines is a great place to kind of build, especially like a call center. So I find myself now almost building a call center. It's just we're doing something very different than the guys I used to consult to.
Right.
But yeah, putting together a team and just have them getting on the phone with people all day, every day, and I'm sort of me and my wife, share the leadership duties, but I'm kind of trying to work into, I guess, the CEO/CFO role, like Chief Financial Officer. So that's our main work focus. And yeah, like I said, a 10-month-old baby girl, Sophia, a 7.5-year-old boy, Chris. He's been adjusting to virtual classes for the last year and a half. He's doing pretty well, all things considered. And I was really grateful that, because we're on, this like tropical island, we're fortunate to have, we're still renting. The place we have has a lot of space, it's like a fairly sizable property. So he's got at least room to run around. We're kind of on the edge of the jungle, and we can get out and get a little exercise every day. So that was good, especially this last year. I was like, thank God I wasn't still living in one of the big cities, couldn't imagine being trapped in a apartment with whatever 5 people. So what is that? Business balance, being. I've been in Warrior actually. Like, I joined in January the network, and then I went through what was the Wake Up Warrior Challenge number 6 with you guys, right? I think everyone in our Alpha group was part of 6, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
So yeah, I got the original Warrior book, which is like all the doctrine in one book, but I don't think they split anymore. I got that back in late 2017. And then I did what was called the King's Challenge back in June 2018. And so they didn't have the apps back then. It was just like, it was just the Mega Stack, and it was, doing it in Evernote or doing it on computer. So I've been doing it since, really early 2018. But introduced to like the Core 4 and stuff since then. And I guess we did have like the Kingdom software back then, which actually Garrett talks about once in a while. I guess he hated it. I thought it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't as cool as the apps,
Right.
But anyway, I was introduced to the doctrine and stuff since, I guess that's almost 4 years, but kind of just very hot and cold with it, off and on, until this year. And I somehow got an invitation like around New Year, I guess, or at the very tail end of last December, to do a 5-day intensive with Garrett. And I don't know how, it's probably like 30 or 40 people, I think. There's like 25 people on the calls every day. But yeah, so I kind of did like this small group training with Garrett for 5 days, the first week of January, and I managed to sneak into the shelter via that. It was right before they kind of locked it down and made it so you had to go through the Wake Up Warrior Challenge first. But because I hadn't done it, I decided to take the challenge, like starting at beginning of February, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, my warrior experience, like I kept coming back to it because I built a pretty sustainable and a business that had provided well for me and my wife and our son at the time, up until I think it was late 2016, and I started to burn it all down, started to kind of go, it started with challenges with my wife, and then it just kind of overflowed into other areas, and I had too many plates spinning, and I let everything kind of tumble down like a house of cards with business.
Yeah.
And so I had a real big crash and burn, like the very tail end of 2016 and early 2017, and that's I was just looking for anything and everything to kind of piece my mind back together. I'd done tons of personal development stuff over the years, but I guess for me, I think I lost you. Uh-oh. Well, I'll keep going for the recording. I don't know, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I think it took me a long time to admit and accept, but here he is. Boom, there you are.
I don't know what happened.
No worries, man. Anyway, I was just saying, I think for me at least, what I've especially discovered through Warrior, and I think it's becoming quite obvious to everybody now, Garrett, the direction Garrett is going, but even before Garrett was kind of coming out and talking about Christ and stuff, right? Like, yeah, for me, a lot of it was about just I guess I was on a similar journey to him. Like it took me a long time to come back to Christianity or whatever.
Yeah.
I still don't even like that label, but I do consider myself a follower of Christ, I suppose now. But I resisted that for quite a while. But it even from 2018, it was really just like connecting me with this deeper with being. I was just thinking that the biggest thing that I didn't realize that was missing back then was that pillar of being. I had the other three to some degree, but that one was almost non-existent, and so that was the biggest thing that it's reawakened, I suppose, in me. And these days more and more. So, but I come. So let me actually grab.
All right, dude, you're done.
A lot of my coaching actually was getting into similar territory, which is why I also didn't go all in 2018 with Warrior, because I didn't want to have like a what would you say, like a conflict of interest, Right. I didn't want to, because I felt like I was doing something fairly similar with my own clientele. But I came at this from, I don't know if that'll show up, Joseph Campbell. You heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I actually learned about Campbell back in 2000, in college. So yeah, I was a big Campbell guy, and then I got into Jordan. It was Jordan Peterson that saved my life in 2017, and then I kind of found my way eventually to Warrior.
Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah. So there was a few different elements, that kind of started reawakening that being area of my life, but especially Warrior. And so today, actually, I don't know if I'd mentioned to you guys, Ray is in there too, but I'm proud to say I've somehow managed to get in this small group with Garrett and Coach Sam, and Jeremy is in there some of the time. But we're contributing to help like rewrite the Warrior Box books. I guess he's going to call it the Kingdom Warrior Box or something.
Nice.
But yeah, like I'm on that team that's like, we're doing Bible study and contributing both our kind of testimonial, our witness or whatever, for our experience in Warrior and what it's done for us, but also kind of linking it up with some like scriptural stuff, like biblical wisdom and biblical stories. So that's been a main focus of mine these last couple of weeks.
Awesome, man.
It's like accelerating my spiritual life even more,
Yeah.
So right now I'm doubling down on kind of contributing, I guess, to Warrior in that way, which has been both very challenging and time consuming, but also like really, really rewarding because it's just like kind of reinforcing, I guess, the value and the purpose behind all the the core, the code, the core, and the stack, and everything so far. So it's really been fun, and I can't wait to see what that kind of amounts to, I guess. So that's me, man. I've probably gone on enough, but what about yourself? Where are you? What's your family situation and your work and your body being balanced and business situation?
All right, man. My name's Dave. That is my preferred. That's what I prefer to go by. I actually will turn 29 years old this Thursday, and
wow,
I am.
You're young, man.
I'm a baby, man.
37.
You don't look a day over 30, sir. I've worked physical jobs my whole life. Started real young at the age of 12, working in the orange groves of Florida. I've done a lot of farm work, a lot of construction, roofing, warehouse, manufacturing. That's really the only kind of employment I've ever known. And that's a path that I'm actively. That's what led me to Warrior, honestly. Was trying to find the best way to negotiate myself out of working with my body and maybe finding a more mentally stimulating position somewhere. The only downside is I have no idea what that looks like realistically for me. With the skill sets I've cultivated and acquired over the years, they've all been associated with that very physical area. My family's. I got half my family, right, that's super tight, super close knit. And then I've got another half of my family that I have not spoken to in 7 years. So I love that one side. That one side couldn't be in a better place most days. It's a lot of siblings, so there's that rivalry and that frustration with each other from time to time. But at the end of the day, push comes to shove, we're always there for each other, which is great.
Well, you said you're one of, was it 8?
6.
Okay.
Yeah, one of oldest of 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 2 brothers, and I got 3 sisters.
Cool.
That's going great. I have a 7-year-old stepson. I'm rounding up. He turns 7 next week. It's close enough. And then I have a very beautiful, very understanding, very helpful girlfriend. The 3 of us live in an apartment outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and we've been together. Hell, we just had our 4 years back in May, but we've known each other for, I think it's 9 years now. 8 years. 8 years. I was 21. So yeah. As far as where I'm at with like the core 4 of the body being balanced in business, my body is the best it's been in a long time. I came out of, I lost so much weight being sick with COVID and being in the hospital and all that. And it gave me a great starting place to try and maintain not gaining back a lot of the fat that I had lost. From the sickness.
Silver linings, man.
Yeah. So I'm doing pretty good with that. I'm maintaining, obviously I gained back a little weight from being able to actually eat again and everything, as well as building some muscle back on, but I'm about 10 pounds lighter than I was prior to getting sick.
Nice.
And showing a lot of progress. I came out of the hospital with just a desire to change my diet up and try and fix a lot of my hurting myself with how I was eating. So I've been cutting out a lot of the crap that I used to, just digest on a daily basis. As well as I was a huge beer drinker, man. Just a 6er, coming home from work and all that, just cutting all that crap out just to try and be a little healthier, maybe not have to go to the hospital for a while. And no, that's going good, and I am working out as much as I possibly can. I'm not walking as much as I used to prior to getting sick or lifting weights and all that, but I am getting better considering they're going through recovery, which is it's slow and frustrating, but it is gradually getting better.
Yeah, man. Well, it's great you're still keeping it up. Even though
I'm trying to, man. I've only had 1 or 2 days that I've hit that I've been able to hit all 4 in a single day, but that's getting better too. Just trying to keep at it and not lose so much ground. I went through a little bit of depression, man, with that being in the hospital and just being so weak and not being able to accomplish anything really apart from just sitting down. And it's good to be coming out of that and start feeling a little more productive. The being portion, prior to getting sick, I was at an all-time high as far as where I was at in my meditation. I was meditating for the first 30 minutes of my day every day, which was amazing. That used to be a battle just to hit the 5-10 minute mark, and without losing too much concentration or feeling like I'm just spinning my wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And then since I got out of the hospital, man, it's just my mind feels real chaotic again. A lot of doubt, a lot of fear, just in the back of my mind right now, from the being out of work so long. But that is getting better. I understand that is outside my control, and that I should just focus on what I can, control right now, which is being prepared or as ready as possible whenever I do get the green light to no longer have to be stuck at home, and to not let it get me down or punish the people around me because my attitude's not where it needs to be. That is.
Do you use like Sorry, I just was curious. Do you use any kind of app or anything for your meditation, or what's your meditation practice look like?
So it just depends on the day. I do have the Calm app that I really like. I think they got a lot of good guided meditations. But from time to time, I just like to wander into my happy place and spend my meditation there. And if I'm doing that, then I'll throw on some meditation music in the background and just set a timer. There's I forget the name of it, but I got a meditation timer that has gongs and stuff that'll go off at different intervals, just to help me mentally keep track of how long I've been going.
Nice.
And I'll alternate between those two, probably 3 guided meditations a week, and then the rest of the week I'll just do my little happy place, try and decompress and work through whatever it is I've got going on in the back of my.
Uh-oh, he dropped again, but I'm sure he'll be right back. Boom. There you are.
There we go.
It's funny. It's just a second it drops off. But
I know. So the meditation, that is getting better. I'm doing, right now I'm just sticking to the 5 minute, 5-10 minutes, trying to get back in the practice. I feel like if I try to shoot for that 30-minute mark I was at, I'll just get frustrated and it'll do more harm than good. So I'm trying to start slow with that again, just to reacclimate myself, get my mind back in shape. Balance has been doing really well.
It's just like, strength in the gym, same thing, right? But you got to work up to it. So,
yeah, I didn't exercise my brain at all while I was sick or in the hospital, so I lost a part of that muscle too. But no, that's getting a lot better. That's coming back to me a lot faster than my physical muscles are. But balance has been the best it ever was. The way everybody rallied around to come help me and look out for my family while I was in the hospital. I'm closer to my siblings right now than I have been probably in the last 10 years.
That's awesome.
Just from the drift of most of us becoming adults during that time and just going our own ways and choosing different belief systems to live by. We all put a lot of the childish shit aside and just came together to, I don't know, be with each other. I had a real close call. It almost didn't go my way, and I think that scared a lot of my siblings. And I don't know, it was the motivation I needed to just. At the end of the day, does it really matter? And so That's been great.
Mm.
As far
That's
as the
awesome to hear,
immediate
man.
balance at home, my relationship with my girl is fantastic. It's as healthy it's as healthy as it's ever been. Just the support she's given me through this whole ordeal, and the overtime she's picked up to help cover my share of the bills. That until I get my back pay, it's all falling on her. She's doing a great job with it, and she isn't showing the cracks or the stress that I know has got to be going on. But we're both doing our best to try and emotionally help each other to process through this trying time, because I know it's just as stressful for her as it is for me, just probably different avenues. But it's going great there. I'm being able to, I don't know, my boy's getting to the age where it's easier to interact with him on a mental level, right? Because he has a better understanding of, he's able to understand the conversation a little bit better, and we can actually, I don't know, and it's easier for me to enjoy it because I don't feel like, all right, and we're looking for the red one now. Find all the red ones. We're going to put those over here. So it's more mentally stimulating for me, and I get more enjoyment out of it. That's probably super selfish, but it's nice to be able to spend the time with him after I, got home, and be able to talk to him, because I think I went 10 weeks without seeing him, just the way it all timed out. It's nice we've had him on the last 10 days, and we've got him till the end of the week this week too. So it's been nice to catch up on some of the lost time. But business is it was doing great prior to me being out of work. I had read through and listened to the Linchpin book. I can't remember the author's name off the top of my head right now, but I'd gone through that book 3 times, and that reshaped the way I saw myself as an employee. Right, made it a lot less of me being a victim all day, and more of trying to find solutions to the problems in front of me, and to make things better to where maybe I wouldn't have to feel like a victim all the time. Not on top of being a more valuable, because we're staring at a lot of cutbacks right now, and it'll make me a more valuable person come leadership trimming time.
Yeah, it's Seth Godin, by the way.
Yes,
thank you. Yeah, I read that one several years back. That's great. It's really good.
Yeah, I love that book. No, that's been going good, and here right now I'm getting ready to start. I've actually got it right here. It's the Extreme Ownership book. It was written by the Navy SEAL.
Oh, nice.
And
Jocko,
I actually
right?
let's see. Yes, Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. I've actually got the workbook for it too, to go through and chapter by chapter get all that done. So I'm actually starting that tomorrow.
Right. So is that this sort of stuff you've been doing for like your Discover and Declare?
Yes. Yeah, I've been working through that. Just having a book in my hand. It's been easier to get through that during this time, instead of just constantly listening to audiobooks and podcasts and stuff like that. Having something to do with my hands, and as well as having to physically turn the page, has been a good distraction. And it also keeps me focused, because I was losing all kinds of attention, just setting my phone down and wandering around doing whatever. I wasn't getting as much out of listening to the audiobook. So this seems to have helped me out a lot with that.
Nice.
But I am currently, as far as the Warrior stuff goes, I'm middle of the road on Summit 2, which is just halfway through the refresh, I guess, for all the stuff we did through the challenge, just in a little deeper. So I'm halfway through the stack book again.
Nice. Actually, that's right about where I'm at too. Yeah.
That's been good. I haven't hit that as much as I would like since I've been out of the hospital. Choosing to go more instead with the book in hand route, just to try and keep my attention focused in. Because until about this last week, I couldn't even sit in my office chair at my computer to get anything done. I was still having to lay in bed or use my recliner. and so doing the actual.
Oh. Boom, there we are.
Missed you, man. But that's been good. Being able to get back into it. I think this last week I've done through 2 or 3 different days, chipping away at the warrior stuff, trying to get that rolling again. And the stacking.
Sorry, David.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we go kind of get into, like warrior curriculum and stuff, I was, remind me, and for everyone else, I hope who might watch later, just to get to know each other, I know you'd been sharing about, like the big strides you were making at work and like kind of taking more leadership with the team and stuff, but what is your role specifically in, the company you're working for right now?
So I'm a team lead. I run a series of testing machines. I have 4 different stations. That if I'm at max capacity, I can have 8 employees working for me there. And my role is to make sure that we are running exactly what we need to meet the orders that we have for the week. That we're not just running whatever the easy shit is laying around that the operator wanted to put on the station and do all day. As well as upkeep of all the stations. I'm responsible for the daily, weekly, and monthly maintenance of those.
Oh, man. What's happening? I hope it's not on my end somehow, but let's see.
I'll keep logging back in, guy. But,
so you were saying?
So I got all the maintenance that I'm supposed to do, which it's a pretty involved piece of machinery. A lot of cables, a lot of wires, because we test cable boxes and wireless gateways for Comcast. It's a lot of hardware put together that I have to be able to take apart and keep running at optimal levels during the month.
So it's like cable, TV, and networking kind of, is that?
Yep. Yeah, that's we do other we have other businesses as well, but that's specifically what I'm over in my department. And when we're running super shorthanded, like probably the last 6 months before I got sick, I only had one guy working in my department, so I became an operator as well, running production with them every day, trying to make sure we're meeting those needs. But most of the job is shooting emails, making sure we're on target for meeting the orders, and then just ripping cables out and putting new ones in.
Cool. Well, yeah, man. So let's shift gears back over to kind of what direction you were going. I mean, like, I think it sounds like you and I are both about the same point in Summit 2. Yeah, I'm getting into the stack again, and I guess I'm about to roll into Core 4 myself. But yeah, like, how have the summits been for you? And maybe, like, what's the biggest what's been your biggest win or the biggest change in your life, I guess, since kind of incorporating the doctrine, the apps and stuff in your life these last 6 months?
It's been great, man. I loved going through Summit 1. It was a nice ease into the kind of the difference between Warrior Challenge and being in the shelter. Being in the shelter does seem to be a little more intense versus the challenge was. So it was a nice introduction, and I was on fire at the end of Summit 1. I loved coming out of that, being able to go into Summit 2, and the refresher I've been getting through Summit 2 is, it's been nice because my takeaways have been different than they were the first time through in Challenge. I've been able to, the stuff that stood out to me in Challenge has been there, but then I've also been able to see a little bit deeper and apply a little more meat to, my takeaway at the end of the day, which has just been a rewarding experience. And honestly, I wouldn't have been able to do this call with you 6 months ago. The person I was then would have been terrified, and my hand would have been shaking too bad you wouldn't be able to see my face. And so the whole Warrior program has been a beautiful thing, just to boost my confidence, give me a little more surety in who I am as a person. And I am no longer. I was a floor mat at work, man. I couldn't stand up for myself for nothing. You could punch me in the face, I probably wouldn't do anything about it. But I've found it a lot easier to share my opinions, and when I think mistakes are being made, I have no problem letting that be known now. Versus 6 months ago, I would have just let the boat catch on fire and wave as the lifeboats were going down.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
I mean, yeah, it was really cool seeing your updates, especially about how things were evolving at work. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's been great, and then especially since I found that mentor at work, just
That's right. How's that going?
That's been going great. He stayed in contact with me while I was in the hospital, and as well as being back home, and we're doing the best we can with it because a lot of our stuff was face-to-face interaction because we both worked there. So we've been doing our best to try and keep up with each other, and he'll just bounce questions off me throughout the week just to try and keep me sharp, keep me thinking. But that's been going great, man. It completely changed the way I look at how I view my position. Because for a while there, I got so burnt out, it didn't seem like it mattered, and I just let a lot of things go. And as a result, I got caught off guard quite a bit. And since I've been working with him, I haven't, I still get caught off guard from time to time with new things that I'm just not familiar with having to deal with. But they don't catch me off guard twice with the same thing. So it's been nice to be able to learn from those mistakes or things that come up and be ready for them again, in the future. It's been nice. I'm definitely ready to get back to work, man. My mind is ready to wrap itself around a problem and fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real challenge when something comes into your life and knocks you out, and you don't have something to keep you mentally occupied. But I mean, I know you said you were doing your best to read and even to get out and get exercise for at least much of this time you were on quarantine. I mean, were you able to use some of the warrior tools throughout very much of this, like the stack? Was that helpful having that?
I did. I couldn't do anything with the apps or anything until after I got out of the hospital. I was so weak and fatigued that holding up my phone just wasn't something I could do, let alone sit up at my desk to get that done. So that was really the only thing I could do was listen to audiobooks and podcasts to try and keep my mind going. After I got out of the hospital, I was strong enough I could sit in my recliner and I was able to function a little better. That's when I started getting back into the stack. And that's when I started fooling around with the warrior stuff again, trying to get back into the summits. But I'd say the first 5 weeks between day one of symptoms and getting out of the hospital, I was useless as far as being able to sit up and actually get anything done. But no, that's gotten a lot better now, and it's been super nice to get back at not just laying around all day.
Yeah. Well, what did you? I think you did the fact map experience, didn't you, a while back?
Yes, I did. I didn't do I didn't do the one that everybody got in with Garrett, but I did go through I went through it myself, and I did all three: the foundation, the future, and the impossible game. And actually, I am coming up at the end of this month. I'll be coming up on the close of my future fact map, and I'll be needing to do that again. Weeks? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so how was that? Because it's something I attempted to join the live mastermind or whatever they call it. The 3-day thing.
Yeah.
Back in, I guess it was sometime. I think it was around July. But so I rented a hotel, and I went by myself, and I took all my shit, like office stuff, things with me, so that there would be no distractions. I wouldn't have to worry about the kids or anything going on in the house. But because I'm on the opposite side of the world, the time difference, it was starting, I think, at midnight my time and going till 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And so I spent almost a week trying to gear up, preparing for that, shifting my sleep schedule and stuff. But then it's more fun in the Philippines. Night one, I get an hour and a half into it, and the power goes off, and we lose the internet.
Right.
And anyhow, so and then I was just frustrated, and the sleep thing was challenging for me. So I've been kind of struggling, kind of making excuses and kind of just getting
Right.
whatever set back with other things in my life. But I'm still gearing up to actually go through and do it on my own. So how, I'd love to hear your experience. Were you doing it through the just listening to the audio app, like the recordings
Yeah.
in there? Okay.
Yeah, I just
What
used
was it
the
like?
I just used the walkthroughs on the audio app, and it was the first one, the foundational fact map, because it was the first one that I went through. It was a little challenging to pick up exactly how it needed to go, but the further I got through the steps of that foundational fact map, I got a little sharper with the process and how it needed to be. And by the time I rolled into my impossible game fact map, I was ready to roll, and it was a much smoother process. But all three of them, every last one of them, the takeaway, the discoveries I had about myself were surprising and super rewarding.
Nice.
By the time I was done with all three, I was super excited for the future and being able to see the changes that would happen incrementally, as well as the fact that every 12 weeks I would have sort of a time to look back and see where I was then and how far I made it over that stretch of time, to sort of see the compounded interest along the way to that impossible game.
Mm-hmm.
The whole it was a super long weekend, but I loved everything about it, and it was great to be able to go through that.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It got me super excited.
So what if you don't mind sharing, what kind of things are you working towards in that first 12-week challenge?
First 12-week was super, just basic. I wanted to maintain a diet and see improvement in my weight for my body. That was the biggest thing for me, which so far I've been able to accomplish. I am 264 pounds last time I weighed, which was yesterday. And prior to that, I was 275, and that's been my weight for a long time.
Oh, nice.
So it's been nice to finally see some progress there. For being, I wanted to see my meditation abilities, get stronger through challenge, as well as up until doing that fact map. My meditation abilities, I was always super distracted, constantly losing focus. I wanted to see that get a little sharper, to where maybe I wasn't so frustrated with myself throughout the process, and I could get more benefit out of it. And I was able to, prior to getting sick, I was able to see that get exponentially better. And since being home, I've been able to recover, and I actually enjoy my meditation practice now. It's been nice to see that. For balance, I chose let's see, the 12-week one was I wanted to not be afraid to take a little time for myself. So I do my 8 to 12 hours at work, depending on what the overtime schedule is, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday, and then I come home and I'm the cook. If I don't want anyone being poisoned in the house, I have to prepare all the food. So I have to make dinner and get all that rolling. And so there just wasn't a lot of time, and I would always just take whatever was left of that time and just, okay, we need to do this. Let's go get that done. Stuff like that. I wanted to make sure I took at least 1 hour throughout the week, every week, just to be me somewhere alone, and so far that's been going good. I've had a lot of alone time here lately. But prior to the forced alone time, I carved out, it was usually Sundays. I would take me 1 to 2 hours on Sundays and just disappear for a little while, and maybe go for a walk. Here in Middle Tennessee, I've got a lot of beautiful walking trails and stuff at my disposal. So sometimes I'll just disappear, go do that, or just, I don't know, go sit at a restaurant and have a burger by myself.
Cool.
Just to go over, decompress from the week, get ready for the new week, getting ready to start. So that was working out really well. Let's see. Business. My 12-week goal for that was I wanted to move into a new position. I wanted to see myself. I knew we had 4 different positions getting ready to open up, and I wanted to see myself make it into one of those. I did miss that window that'll be going on my next 12-week plan. I don't feel super bad about it as I lost the last 8 weeks of those 12. So there wasn't much time to be able to make that happen prior to getting sick. But I'm planning on keeping that on there for the next 12 weeks to see that happen, because we do have we've recently had a couple of people move up to different facilities around the country, so their positions are going to be opening up here in the next month or so. So I'll have another shot at being able to see myself move further up that ladder.
Cool. Well, that is an ambitious move in just 12 weeks though too, right? But do you think do you feel like you're on track for those other 3? For you said it's coming up on a month away till your next quarter.
Yep. So far I'm feeling good about it, man. It's even with losing as much time as I did, the weight thing is definitely, that was the one I was the most anxious about, because I didn't know if I'd be able to stick with not constantly eating crap. But it's been nice to see my drive, just the change in my grocery cart whenever I'm shopping. The fact that I just don't keep nonsense in the house anymore. Like the sweetest thing I drink is flavored water on a daily basis now, which is nice. The dedication to myself that I kind of half-heartedly doubted going into it. It's been nice to see that I've stayed committed through this process.
That's
and I think the rest of them, I'm starting to venture out of the house a little bit now. Since my breathing's gotten a little stronger, so I am starting to take a little more time where I'll go do something for a little bit and then come home. So the alone time thing I'm still trying to keep up with, and right now I'm just using it to try and feel like a human being. I'll actually go to some place that isn't my home and just do something for a little while. It's all working out pretty good. I think the only one I'll end up missing will be the moving into a new position at work.
Well, good, man. Yeah, I've made huge strides, probably in all 4 areas, even just in these last 6 months. I think some of what you were sharing got me thinking. I was having a lot of health challenges, like late. I think it started last June, but I was in the hospital myself, like in November, I believe, having gallbladder issues. And so I kind of, in a similar way, it's been a big, one of my main focuses these last several months has been cleaning up my diet. And I had to get like really strict, because it just ended up being like anytime I would eat pasta or pizza or anything like greasy, just too much carbs, it clogs up my my system, and so I was ending up with gallstones, and basically like in November the doctor told, like they wanted to do surgery and take my gallbladder, but I was just like, if there's any way that I can keep it, I would rather keep it, because I watched my mother go, through a number of different things. Just like they take something out and, you could still survive, but it causes other secondary complications, and, XYZ down the line. So anyhow, I committed like late last year to doing fairly similarly, just really cleaning up my diet and trying to drink less coffee and basically remove butter from my life and all these different things. I'll splurge a little bit once in a while, but that's been like my body war, I guess, I've been fighting, these last several months. So I feel you with that stuff. It's hard, but it like I ended up finding someone who can cook me meals. I got a meal delivery now, prep meals, right? So they do 2 keto meals a day for me. And so since I found that's been like a game changer, little small investment, but totally worth it. And like you, it's actually been a long time since I drank very much like sodas or anything, but I'm trying to get off the beer. I'll still have
that's
beer,
hard. I can drink water all day, but losing the beer has been been challenging.
That's the hardest one that I still can't give up, you know. But I am replacing it a little more and more with like the bubbly water, like you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love those flavored waters.
Uh,
But yeah, man. You know, overall, because I've been struggling to get the fact maps done. It's funny. I know I get the idea. I've done like a really basic version of it, you know, but I still haven't gone all in and done the full fact maps experience. So that one still weighs heavily on me, and I guess, you know, I was telling you earlier, I'm kind of contributing to this Kingdom Warrior book project, right, which is eating up a lot of my time. But between now and hopefully the end of this next month, or the end of September, I suppose. Yeah, I'm hoping to squeeze that in there, because like all these systems work great for me, you know, like over the amount of time I've had to get whatever used to, you know, like to learn all this stuff. Like I'm using using the core 4, using the stack, using the door to my best ability. Although I haven't, you know, I feel like once I get to that part of Summit 2, that'll solidify my door game, but I'm still putting it to use. But I have, because I don't have specific targets, you know, for each of those 4 areas, I often feel like, man, I just wish I had a clearer purpose, I guess, long term, you know, medium to long term, for like for the daily stuff, right? For like the daily core 4. So that's the one thing I do the weekly General's Tent. Do you do General's Tent very much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing that every Sunday before I got sick.
Nice. Yeah, that's been a bit, you know, I'm on like week 35, I guess, since I started, and yeah, I've just been really strict with myself, like just drilling that habit. So even if nothing else gets done, at least every week I'm holding myself accountable, you know, and return and report. But so yeah, I've gotten pretty good with the General's Tent, but the lessons I keep getting every week from the GT for myself, it's like, yeah, you really fucking need to do the fact maps and have a specific, clear kind of, you know, end target, because I feel that'll really give me a boost with even my daily game, right? So yeah, that's one piece I'm still missing, and I intend to hopefully go through on my own the way you did. But do you have a plan? Like, I know they're doing, I think it's like, is it every 2 weeks, or it's at least monthly they're doing the mastermind, right?
I think it's monthly, yeah.
Do you think you'll join the live thing the next round?
For me, that will depend. That'll have to be like a next year kind of thing. Because right now I just wouldn't have the money to be able to swing that with me being out of work. But it's
you don't, for the fact maps. There's no charge for the fact maps.
Is there not?
I don't think so. Okay. I mean, I know they. I don't even know who pays, honestly, because there is. I know what you mean. You go to the.
I might be thinking of like the sole purpose incentive and stuff like that.
Sole purpose is like, I think it's 500. I think they're both 500. The sole purpose and the Warrior Wealth boot camp, right? Yeah, those you have to pay for. But if you're like the same level as like Shelter, yeah, we get the virtual fact map mastermind for free.
Okay.
But I think you do have to. There's like a coupon code that you have to use, and you just copy paste it in there. And yeah, it you know goes from, because you're right, it shows up as like $297 or something, but it drops down to $0. So yeah, you know, next time they send out an email, have a little closer look, because and it's a simple code too. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you could get in there for free. And even because the one thing I have done after failing so hard that first time to do the middle of the night thing, I was like, okay, I guess I won't do that again. But I usually sign up for them, and at least like you can have the recording afterwards.
Right.
I've signed up for each month so far. I keep thinking like maybe I'll go back and follow along. So anyhow, even if you're unavailable those days or you got work or something, at least you can sign up and get the recordings. So yeah, I mean, I think I'll probably do. There's actually a video version in the Armory as part of the Be the Man challenge. And so that's what, like I have been slowly kind of working through that challenge and just about getting into the actual fact map. So I think I'm gonna do a combination of that, the video course inside the armory and probably the audios. But anyhow, one of these days I would like to join the live group. But yeah, definitely check it out, man. Definitely, because
Hell yeah, man.
if you don't have to be up from midnight till 8 a.m., I'm sure at least you have a better chance of making it happen. So, well, you know, I know we said it'd be an hour, so I don't want to keep you too long. It's been great to catch up with you. It's been like a interview back and forth. So, but yeah, any other major things you're working on for like the week ahead, or anything you need support with?
Honestly, the biggest thing I got going this week is to just keep up with my exercise routine, try and get these muscles back, man. The more walking I can do, especially, that's going to increase my strength breathing, which is the big deciding factor for me being able to go back to work. So just keeping up with my steps, trying to get my lungs used to the exercise is my biggest goal for the week.
Cool.
So I've been trying to squeeze in about a half mile a day, just not trying to overdo it, as well as just trying to get I was walking like a baby giraffe for a little bit on those first few walks, just because my muscles were all gone. And then I wake up the next day, can't hardly roll out of bed with them. But it's getting easier, and I just want to keep up with it so that my transition back into being on the job isn't so horrible.
Well, that's pretty good, man. Half a mile. I mean, given the circumstances, that's great, dude. Really good, man. Right on. Well, I think I got some audio message over on Facebook from Ray, so it's too bad that we didn't see him, but I'll check in and see what he had to say. And yeah, I hope that maybe next week, maybe some of the other guys will be available and want to jump in with us. But definitely, I'm down to do something, at least like bi-weekly, maybe every 2 weeks if we don't have a bigger group or if people are just busy. But yeah, it's good to catch up with you and get to know you a little better. And
yeah, man, I enjoyed it. That was nice.
I think it'd be fun to get a group going, so we can really kind of keep each other accountable, hold each other's feet to the fire. That'd be good. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Dave, for joining me today. Have a good.
No problem, guys.
And yeah, maybe we'll see you next week, man.
Absolutely, man.
Cool. All right, buddy. Take care, man.
You too, boss.
See you soon.